I thought this trip was just about work, but it ended up showing me a version of myself I had forgotten even existed. I knew that traveling to places can change you, not in loud, dramatic ways, but in whispers. And London whispered things to me I didn't want to hear. There are moments in life that feel unreal, like you're watching yourself from the outside, thinking, is this really happening? That's exactly how I felt when I got the opportunity to solo travel for work internationally to London, a city I had only seen in movies, now unfolding right in front of me. But as the days passed, I realized this wasn't just a trip. It was a mirror showing me parts of myself I hadn't seen before. This change didn't happen dramatically, but in subtle, quiet way that I only realized when I came back home while staring at the same four walls. Suddenly, nothing felt the same. London did that to me. February 2024, exactly a year since my first solo international business travel to London, and I cannot forget what it taught me. Coming from a middle class background, living in North India, and sustaining on a limited salary every month, I never thought I would find myself in London, thousands of kilometers away from home. While walking the streets alone in London, it made me question a lot of things about my life back in India. I didn't go there looking for answers. It was just a work related trip, but somewhere between the unfamiliar streets, the silent tube rides, the crisp air that smelled nothing like home, I started to notice things about myself that I had never questioned before. Here in India, I always feel like I'm walking with weights on my shoulders. One I had carried for so long that I forgot it wasn't supposed to be there. The weight of responsibility, of being the daughter who shows up, the one who takes care of things, the one who doesn't let anyone down, but still no one is proud of her. In London, no one expected anything from me, and for the first time, I saw myself outside of those roles. But the question is, did I know who I was without those expectations? Without the constant pressure of being enough, giving enough, being enough? No, not really. Life as a homebody in India, surrounded by my family members, is filled with voices, opinions, conversations, decisions. London, on the other hand, was quiet. People mind their business, no one interrupts your thoughts, and in that silence, I had to sit with my own mind. That's when I realized I had spent years reacting to family needs, to responsibilities, to love that came with conditions. I had never stopped to ask myself what I had really wanted from life, not in a way that didn't revolve around someone else. London gave me that space. What would my life look like if I wasn't constantly choosing between what I want and what I owe? Would I even know how to live like that? Freedom in India and freedom in London feel different. In London, it's practical. You move how you want. No one questions you. You exist without justification. But freedom isn't just about movement. It's about the mindset. It's just not about physical, but mental. In India, my days are structured around responsibilities, taking care of my family, work, expectations. And in London, I did not feel any obligations, no baggage, just me, my thoughts, and the city. But was that real freedom or just an escape? I still don't have the answer. But all I have now realized is that my biggest cage wasn't my responsibilities. It was the way I saw them. I always thought I had to choose between family and self, responsibility and freedom, love and independence. But maybe the real problem wasn't choosing, it was believing that I had to. I don't have all the answers, but I do know this now. I don't want to live on autopilot anymore. London didn't change me, but it held up a mirror and forced me to see myself clearly. It made me question my patterns, my fears, my need to prove my worth by how much I do for others. And now that I see it, I can't unsee it. But what do I do about it? And what did I do about it in last 1 year? Because it's exactly an year when I'm recording this. And a lot has happened in 2024. From crying alone in my room for months to sleeping through the afternoons, got diagnosed with depression and anxiety, still managed to work late nights to just pay my bills and to make sure that I am fulfilling everyone's responsibilities. It took me an entire year to fully grasp the impact London had on me. I am choosing myself, not between extremes, but choosing balance, choosing what actually makes sense to me now, choosing to show up for people without erasing myself in the process. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to live my life proving my love through sacrifices I've been doing and I do or I have done. I want to live it knowing that I deserve love even when I choose myself. There's a rhythm to the city, a kind of unspoken rule. Everyone minds their own business, no unnecessary stares, no random questions about where you are going or why. It felt freeing. And yet, somewhere deep inside, I was waiting for someone to break the silence, to ask me how my day was, to make it feel like home. But there's something about the chaos of India that feels familiar. Safe in a different way, but not so safe either. One thing that shocked me about London, the fact that I could walk alone at night and no one stared. No cat calls, no weird comments, just people minding their own business. Because in India, I always have to be alert even during the daytime. London moves fast. I thought I was used to speed as I've spent my life juggling responsibilities, rushing from one thing to another, making sure everything is in place. But here, the rush is different. It's not about survival, it's about choice. People are running towards something, not just away from something. And for the first time, I wondered, what am I running towards? People say travel changes you, but no one talks about what happens in between, the quiet moments, the unexpected loneliness that makes a home inside you. On my last night in London, I was walking back alone to my hotel. The streets were empty, the kind of quiet that should have bothered me, but instead, it felt peaceful. Back home, there's always background noise, family talking, TV playing in another room, a neighbor dropping by unannounced. Here, there was just me. And I loved being in my own company. Maybe I've spent my whole life defining myself by the people around me and who needed me, who depended on me, who I had to take care of. And now in this city where no one actually needed me, I had to ask myself, who am I when I'm not fixing things for someone else? On my last day, I stood at the airport, staring back at the city. The hardest part of leaving wasn't saying goodbye to London. It was saying goodbye to the version of me that existed there. The one who didn't have to justify her choices. The one who wasn't weighed down by guilt or responsibility. The one who was just her. But I promised myself, just because I was going home didn't mean I had to leave that version of me behind. London didn't change me. It just showed me what was already there, what I had ignored, what I had silenced. I had ignored myself. I had silenced myself. And now, I'm finally ready to listen to that voice inside me again. So, after spending a week in London, I have come to a very important conclusion. I need to start planning my retirement here. Imagine me, 60 years old, walking through Big Ben with my morning tea, gossiping with pigeons. I'll be living in a cozy little flat, probably still complaining about the weather, but secretly loving it and enjoying it because I love winters. And of course, I'll be that one cool retired Indian lady who knows all the best fish and chip spots, but still carries her own masala, Indian masala, because priorities, you see. Honestly, with the way life is going, I might as well start practicing my British accent and saving up now. For now, I'm back home, back to the responsibilities, the love, the chaos. But I'll carry this experience with me forever because sometimes you need to step away to see your own life clearly.